We're good? Okay. Woo! Another glitch, but we're getting better at the glitches. All right. Hey, we're still practicing safe distancing here at Festool. Welcome back to Festool Live. It's Festool Friday. It's noon, and we're here in the room again. Do you realize this is our 8th episode? And I hope everybody is staying safe out there. We are here at Festool. Everybody in this room right now is wearing a mask except me. Go figure. Okay, so in the room, as I do every single week, we have Big D. He is working the boards. Check out the new equipment, everybody. We have Minnie. Here's Min. Woo! She's a legend here at Festool. Philip is one of our producers. He's at home right now, monitoring everything, and working the chat. And one of our moderators is Brent Shively, our other trainer here in Festool HQ. Okay, everybody. Just really quick, a little housekeeping. This is YouTube. Of course, you subscribe to it. Make sure you hit notifications so you get a bell and a ding. That's so you know, and it's a reminder you are getting ready for Festool Live. Also, if you have missed one of our Festool Lives on the Festool USA YouTube channel, you'll see playlists, and in that playlist are all our episodes. Also, in case you want to go there on Facebook, we'll be reposting this. And it's kind of like a flip this week. We usually do this on IG or Instagram. It's going to be on our stories on Instagram. So there's all kinds of platforms you can catch Festool Live. Okay. Also, thank you, everybody who's watching, for your feedback. We have really taken this sincerely, and it keeps improving, hopefully, for you. I mean, new microphones, new switchers, new everything. So there you go. And I'm trying to get quicker on introductions. That was some of the feedback. All right. One of my favorite subjects here at Festool, and I get to teach you this week, is the CARVEX Jigsaw. We get so many questions on this. But it's going to be broken up into many Festool Lives, and you'll be able to go back and re-see these or review them. But what I want to do is start off with the basics, what essentially you need to know when you purchase, or you may have already purchased, a CARVEX Jigsaw. So what we're going to do is I'm going to stop blathering. We're going to walk right over here so I can give you some essentials on it. And I always in my brain, I always think, what are the top 5 things that people need to know about the Jigsaw? Okay, so you get 2 versions of the Jigsaw. You get a barrel grip, you get a top handle. It all based on ergonomics. I always reach, and I grew up using a barrel grip. This is the most comfortable barrel grip I personally have ever used. And what I want to point out is really quick. It uses your typical T-style, or growing up we called these Tang style. Only one company had this, but now everybody uses it. And one of the problems about a jigsaw was putting the blade in. Now pay attention, because I'm going to go slow doing this, but this is how you put in a blade with the CARVEX. It's that simple. And I'm going to see this little part right here. As I push it forward, it hits a little lever here, and it turns the arbor shaft, and it spits out the blade, because that may be hot when you're changing the blade. Okay? But what what I want to point out is, if we can, you know what, I'm going to take this apart. This here, see this little green lever here as I pull it? That removes the base. We can talk about that in a little while. And I'm going to remove the dust shroud here. And I want you to see this. You see how when we look down here, it's angled? So when I take that blade and stick it in there, I just turn it. And that's how easy it is. Okay? Now, one of the top things I want to teach you today is this. Okay? You see these right here? These are carbide guides. Okay? You have to adjust them. Okay? And any thickness of blade you put in there, you should adjust them. This is, now I can show you a really difficult way of doing this, but I want to show you the simple way. Okay? It comes with this little Allen key. And basically, the carbide guides are just like a bandsaw. You probably have all used the bandsaw before, right? And the bandsaw, right before you touch the blade up top, okay, here's your table. You have cool blocks or ceramic guides or bearings, and down below you have those cool blocks or ceramics or, carbide guides. Okay, This is the same thing. It holds, and what you want to achieve with a jigsaw is you want to achieve a perpendicular cut. Okay? It's very difficult with other jigsaw systems, not with the Festool system. Okay? Right away, you're going to see this little hex right here, and you're going to see how the blade wobbles in and out of there. This is your pendulum swing, like a lot of jigsaws. You have 4 settings. You have 0, 1, 2, and 3. I put it in 3. That way there, the bearing, the support bearing in back is all the way back. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly push the arbor back like this, okay? And I'm going to take it and I'm going to tighten it like that. Okay, so I want you to see this. I'm not going to jam it, because if I did, it would pop out, but you're going to see how it's in tension. Okay, and then I'm going to take, and hopefully we catch this with the camera, I'm going to reinsert the hex key, and I'm going to take it, as I eyeball it, I turn it back about a 1/4 turn to an 1/8 of a turn. Okay, and then you'll see, whoopsie, I got to go that 1/4 turn on this, just like this. I'll give it a little bit more. Whoops, here I am fumbling. Look, I'll turn it back just a little bit more. So you see, whoa, I really tightened that. I really tightened that, hang on. Okay, there you go. So it just, see how it just pops out now? And when I feel it, there's no lateral tolerance back and forth. So there's a perfectly set blade. Now, when you turn this on, if I would have kept those tight, that would have just blued the blade. Okay, that's why you got to create a little bit of space in there. So much so, here's one I did earlier. And this was set just right, because what you want to do is just take the paint off of it. Okay? You don't want it too loose. You don't want it too tight. And the way I just did that, take it and turn the hex back a 1/4 turn. I'm ready to go with that. Okay, I want you to notice this too, because I have it all disassembled. You see that little plunger right there? It's hitting that. Now, when I turn this on and turn it off, you see where this is setting? Okay? That way there I have access to remove the blade. Okay? So what I want to do here is, as I do this, I'm listening to what they want to do. Did you guys say I want a assist light on that? No? I'm good? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put everything back together. Just like that, okay? And let's turn it on so we can see a cut. I'm going to put the dust extraction on. Hopefully that blade change and setting the carbide guides was pretty smooth for you, okay? Now here's one of the things, the CARVEX versus our Tryon. We used to have right here the on-off switch. We made it so it's either left-handed or right-handed. You guys asked for it, that's why we changed it. Now, I'm going to make a quick cut. And the other thing I'm going to show you is how to utilize this simple piece of plastic. Okay? So, I have this very aggressive blade in here. I like using the CARVEX blades. They're thicker than most blades. Okay? And I'm going to cut cross grain on this veneered plywood. Okay? Look, this is probably the cut that you would expect with a very aggressive setting with a very aggressive blade, right? On cross-grain veneer. I think we cut the same board last week. Now, let's pay attention to this. You see this Splinter Guard? I think you get like one with the CARVEX. You can buy multiples. This is a consumable. You can get it, I think, packs of 5 or 20. Okay? When I put this in, the point is always facing forward. And you're going to see this is a non-marring base. Okay? In other words, my jigsaw in my cabinet shop, my other brand that I had before this, I used to put blue tape on it so I wouldn't scratch. Here, this doesn't mar. Okay, so when I put this on, you see how the little grooves here fit on those little V's? So when I take that, I'm going to take it just like this. I'm going to make sure my hands are completely away from this. Look, I'm going to turn it on. And you see how I cut it? That's how you cut the Splinter Guard. Nice and safe. So what I'm going to do is check this out. That is why the Festool Jigsaw systems. You get a splinter-free cut every time. And by the way, every single one of the Festool blades combined with that Splinter Guard is a splinter-free cut. Okay? So there's 2 things I wanted to make sure you understood with that. So here's something I'm doing. I'm just going to whip over here. I'm going to make a quick cut on this 2x4. Okay? Just so. And I want you to listen. Okay? you're going to hear the speed ramp up. Okay? Now this is what you want, isn't it? A perpendicular cut. Look at that. Hey, Mo! Check that out, huh? Okay, good. That's what you can achieve with the Festool Jigsaw. Now, let's explain what I wanted you to hear. Okay, so I'm going to turn this on, and I'm going to take it down. There's one. That's kind of like, say, and I'll explain. I'm going to explain this in conjunction with this. This is set at its most aggressive setting. If I was cutting steel, I would put a steel cutting blade in there, and I would put it on 1. That way there, it's going up and down and not aggressive. But if I wanted to create or start to take the blade, watch, it's going straight up and down in 0, but if I put it in 1, it starts to swing. That way there, these teeth engage in a more aggressive cut. So, I'm going to turn it back on. 2, and between 2 and 3, I might be cutting aluminum. 3, 4, woods. Now listen to this. I have it at 5. I'm going to turn it back to A. You see how it's slowed down? You can probably hear it. Okay. And the reason for that is to get that perpendicular cut. So think about this. If this blade is going up and down, look at the length of this blade, okay? What happens if that, just think of A as speed setting number 6, okay? If that was hitting 6, this tip would be wobbling back and forth like this. So if I entered the cut at an angle, okay, and it was wobbling, it would maintain that same plane. So if we pay attention, come in here, cameraman, so you can see this. If I turn it on, it's on A. As I enter the wood perpendicular, I stay on the same plane. That way there, I can achieve that perpendicular cut. Okay, and check that out. And I am the world's worst jigsaw person, and that jigsaw makes me look halfway decent. Okay, so there you go. There's the speed settings. You know how to set the carbide guides. You know how to set the Splinter Guard. Now, I'm going to teach you a couple of things that you may or may not know with your CARVEX, and I'm always getting questions about this. All right, so listen to this. Okay, and let's come in here so we can look. You see that right there? The blade looks like it's standing still. That's because there's 4 lights on top strobing down on it. If I turn it upside down, they turn off. Okay? Now, sometimes people don't like those stroboscopic lights, okay? They may just want a solid light, or they may want no light. So let me show you how to set that. There's a computer chip in here. Let me show you how it works. You see how there's a switch here that has the name CARVEX, and there's a switch here that doesn't say anything. No name side, I call it. If I pull both of those simultaneously and wait about 10 seconds, you're going to hear a beep coming up here. And what that does is that signals it, and you're going to start to see this. Oh, there it goes. And you see how it's flashing? Now, where it says the name CARVEX, the name side, that's how I cycle through the modes. So if I hit that, you see how it's solid? That way there, that's the solid mode. It'll be constantly shining with no strobe. Or if I have that, that's the no light mode. So I'm going to put it back here, okay? And no matter what mode I have it in, if I turn it on here, on this side with no name, that sets the mode. Okay? Hopefully that was simple enough explanation. No worries. But now you have a video to go back and watch so you can review it and set your CARVEX Jigsaw the way you want it. Okay, now, there's another one where I'm going to force this machine. Okay? Say I'm taking a notch out of a piece of 2x, okay, for a railing or something. Watch. And I stop it in the middle. Okay, this happened to me when I first got a CARVEX. Okay, and look, see this right here? See how that's in the down position? That's the park position. You see how I can't get the blade out? So when I turn this on, watch. You see how it stays there? So the computer chip, what that tells me is wherever this ends up, it goes back to that position. So don't do this. Don't go like this now and jam it, okay, to get the blade out. Okay, what happens is when you turn it on and off again, it's going to stay down. You're always going to be doing it. It's not broken. What you need to do is I always put it in 5 so it's a little bit quicker. And hopefully we get this on camera because this is it's cool looking, but it's reprogramming the CARVEX Jigsaw to go back into the proper park position. Watch. You'll see how it resets itself. It just takes a few minutes. Be patient. See how it just went up? And now it'll always go back to the parked position. I thought it was pretty cool looking, and that will reset it. Okay? Cool. Those are the top 5 things I wanted to impart to you today, just to make sure you could get started with your CARVEX. Now, there's a variety of, oh my God. Look at this. Look, oh, Minnie, this is so cool. Look at this. We have people from Bogota, Canada, Sweden. Robert, a Festool trainer? Hey, how you doing, buddy? Oh, my God, I forgot to call him out. He's been with us every single time. It's my buddy Jason Bentz at Bentz Woodworking. Whoa, we have Marta Charuria. Oh, Martin! MK Holies 1, 2, 3. Martin, how are you doing, buddy? We have North Carolina, we have Vegas, we have France, we have Toronto, we have Little City Woodworks, we have Germany, we have Cali. Oh my God! And I wanted to call somebody out. He mentioned he's been texting me this week on Instagram, and I'm going to call him out. His name is Rick Formosa, and he's from Australia. Rick, I hope you're watching today. All right, we have a question. Oh, Val, what a great question! I love this. I get this all the time, okay? Boy, whoever asked that question, you're pretty wicked smart. Okay, good. And Minnie, you're pretty good at writing those questions. Okay, good. Look, I need to follow a line, okay? I have a tough time following a line because I can't see through here and the Splinter Guard is fogging or whatever. Okay, so this is what I always do, okay? The reason it's called the CARVEX is carving to a line, okay? And we added an X to it, all right? But check this out. A lot of people will say, hey, I follow this little point. But if you look from the distance to the blade, sometimes it's a tight arc and you can't follow it. What I like to do is, so I'm going to flip it up so you can see it. I follow this cut line because that's a 0 clearance insert, but I don't look at it like this. I call this line of sight. Follow me on this. Watch. I look down through this way. And you can see, as good as you want to get, you can follow that line and carve right to that line. Little hand sanding, and you're good to go. Do you know how much time that probably will save you? Okay, because usually, for me, a jigsaw cut was never a finished cut. You always cut close to the line and do a lot of, sanding on a spindle sander to get close, whether you're making a template. Here it can be a finished cut the first time. Okay. Woo! Boy, you know what? I should have started with that. Sorry. Here's another question we get. Man, should know these questions, eh? Okay, so I'm removing this blade, and I've been cutting with it. It's a little hot. So what I like to do, and I should have set this up earlier, is I always like to have a screwdriver with me, a flathead, because I got to take out the splinter guard. So what I do is to take out the splinter guard, is I'll take this like this and turn it, and then get my thumbs in there. I'm not touching the blade because that can be wicked hot. Okay? Now I'm going to just take that, and it just pops right out. And you see how the way we adjusted that today, I'm just taking the paint off. Now, the question on the board we get quite often is, I'm looking to buy a Festool jigsaw. Which one should I get? The top handle or the barrel grip? I will always ask somebody if I'm at a trade show, what are you using now? I don't care what brand it is. And they'll say, well, I'm using this style. I go, then that's the style I'm always going to recommend for you, because that's what you're used to. It's about ergonomics is what I'm getting at. Now, there's only one other difference, okay, that I know of, the top handle versus the barrel grip. Okay, remember the speed setting here? Okay, on the barrel grip. It's the same on here. You can actually, if we look at this, I can actually use it like a barrel grip. It's recessed right in here. It's nice. But you're going to notice this button here and this switch here. When I push it here, listen, it's better to hear this when I turn it on. Always remember, when you put a plug-it cord in, it's a full quarter turn. Okay, so watch. See how I can't turn it on, but I put it here? I have it, let's just say I have it at speed 5. Listen. I have variable speed in the trigger. So that's for someone who uses a top handle. Sometimes going around a curve, you want to slow down, and maybe it's a tighter radius. You want to do that. Wow, we have somebody from South Africa, Belgium, Australia, Denmark, and Iran. This is so cool. Man, you guys are awesome tuning in. Okay, now, I thought I was prepared for this. I'm not, but who cares? I can prepare really quick. Someone last week asked us, right, Derek, about which plug-it cord should I use? Well, there's only 2 plug-it cords, or 2 different ends, and I think I have one right over here. When I set up in the training room, I usually have, there it is, I usually have one style hanging around, because one plug-it cord or one style of plug-it cord works with all the tools that take plug-it cords. Follow me on this. You see this one right here? See how it has a little bump out here? This is for our low amperage tools. Now, there's all kinds of myths on the internet about why we have 2 different styles of plug-its. See this one here with the flat? Okay? Okay, this is the one that comes with, and I want you to think this through. It comes with the 75 to 55, the OF 1400. And I think that's about it. Think about it. They're higher amperage tools. This is an 18 gauge cord. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 16 gauge cord. And this is 18 gauge. Think about what this one comes with, all the tools. A sander. All our sanders come with that plug-it cord that takes a plug-it cord, and they're higher usage tools. Follow me on this. You don't just turn on a sander and use it in like a jigsaw for a couple of quick cuts. You're using it constantly. And a lot of people think it's about saving money, because think about it, this will work in all the sanders. See that little flat spot? But that little point doesn't allow you to put it into the 75, 55, and 1400. Hopefully I'm being clear. But whenever somebody's been in class, I've had both. And I say, which one weighs more? And you barely can't tell, but I always say, which one's more flexible? And I go, think about using this all day long when you're working overhead with like a Rotex sander on some beams versus this one, or on the side of a house. It's about ergonomics. There's less fatigue, as minor as it may seem, with a 18 gauge cord. It's more flexible. Cool. Oh, and this one, I always tell everybody, every time I put a plug-it cord in and I'm teaching somebody, when you put a plug-it cord in, you just don't put it in here like this. You take it and it's a full quarter turn. Okay? Good. Oh my God, I do. We do. This is really cool. We do have cordless versions of both of these, top handle and barrel grip. So this one here, I will tell you, when you're doing any adjustments on the cordless version, they're 18 volt. Make sure you pull that battery when you're changing blades, when you're adjusting the carbide guides, because you can really, how do you say, make a mistake and hit one of these, and you could get hurt if there's a blade in there. Okay. What else we got? Woo! Minnie, I haven't told you yet, but you are an unbelievable Vanna for me. Look at you. When is the Festool Recon coming back? I guess we haven't been getting any tools back to recondition them. Stay tuned. I thought we were running it, were we? It's coming back, if it's not already back. So please be patient with us. It's just a nice thing to have for you. If we have reconditioned tools, we put them on there. We don't wait. And oh, what's the longest blade usable in the CARVEX? So the longest blade that we recommend is one we make. It's called the CARVEX Jigsaw. And this one is, we always say this, we've always worded this. With this blade, you can achieve a 4 3/4 depth of cut. So if we look at the length of this, you're going to see where we have basically, you got to consider the stroke length. That's a 5.5-inch blade from tooth to tooth. Now, I'm going to point something else. Boy, I'm so glad whoever asked that, they asked that, because I have right over here, and someday we'll have a little a little live on jigsaw blades. But if you check this out, these are all the blades that we offer here at Festool in North America. And we made this little chart here where, and this is kind of cool because I think you'll remember this from one of our previous lives when we were talking about the 55 blades, that all our tooling is color-coded, okay? So if you see, hey, it's yellow or gold, it's for wood. So look at all the blades we have for wood here, okay? And then if it's red, because we have a plastics blade for the TS55, it's for plastics and laminates. Now here's where I want to make sure you understand this. If it's blue, it's for aluminum or stainless steel or steel. When you see a green blade or a green called out blade from Festool, it's usually for a specialty product. Like this one here, it's double ground. It's ground on both sides. Okay, this is for foam board insulation. We have one which is carbide grit. That's for, like, I always use that in the marine industry for fiberglass. Works fantastic. And boy, in fiberglass, and you combine that with on white glass with white fiberglass with a Nomar base, it's fantastic for instrument panels. And this right here, that's a carbide tipped, but that's for abrasive materials. It's not that it's any sharper than this, it's just that it's a sharper longer. Okay, now, what do we got? Okay, no. I get that question all the time. Can we use these upside? No, I can't answer that one. In Europe, they do cut upside down, but we don't recommend it here in the States. Okay, now, that's the question I was waiting for somebody to ask. Because that is why you buy. I'm just kidding. This is one of the reasons that the CARVEX Jigsaw really shines. This is our circle cutting jig, and you combine that with this base. Okay, now I will, and boy, I always want to make sure people understand that when we do a Festool Live, it's more of a training, but I will tell you this. If I was to recommend a purchase, okay, if I bought a jigsaw, a Festool CARVEX jigsaw, I would save the money and buy the accessory kit because it comes with this base here. It comes with this base, and I made a note today that if somebody asked me this question, I could talk for about 2 hours just on this accessory kit. I don't want to do that. I want to save it for another live version in a few weeks so I can really show you how to cut circles. Chris, our cameraman, and I, we've been doing a lot of videos lately, and him and I were talking, and he really said, you got to show them how to make a template with this, because it was a really great video we did internally for everybody. You combine it with this and this base, and you can cut perfect splinter-free arcs, circles, whatever. This is our angled base. Whether I'm cutting an inside angle or an outside angle, you can dial it in. Boy, do I got a lot of tips and tricks I can show you on that. And then we have a variety of bases here that I'm just going to pull out. Okay, we're a felt base, a phenolic base. I call this the bumps base, and a steel base, so when you cut in steel. Okay, and I will go more in depth on that. It comes with some splinter guards. It comes with some replacement felts for that. You're cutting really, how do you say, sensitive materials that could scratch. You put the hard felt base on there, and it works like a champ. And they switch on and off with the sub bases with the Nomar base. Okay. Yes, there will be. Someone asked. I don't know when. It's not that I'm holding off on it or anything, but somebody asked the other day what's my favorite tool, and I should say all of them, but there are some significant ones that come out, like the TS saw, and someone's asking me, will there be a live about the CARVEX? Absolutely, 100%. The KS120, I already have it all organized and everything. I just don't know when. I'm waiting for the go on it. Okay, but please stay tuned, man. We just love doing this, and here was doing these, and here was one of my favorite things after last week's. We always do a post meeting after the live, and Minnie Gleb said to me after, boy, that was fun. And we're always going to do these because we like to have fun. Okay, what do I got here? Netherlands, woo! And yes, there is a PDF chart for download. Actually, I believe it's right there on our website for the blades. Yes, there is a PDF chart somewhere in our Festool, one of our websites. Or you can actually call in and talk to one of our service guys, and they could probably send you a PDF, I think. Okay. Oh my God, you got to be kidding me, really? I love this global. We have somebody from Pakistan. How you doing? Good to see you, and thanks for tuning in. Okay, I think I covered everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick wrap up. I just want to say thank you once again. Please be safe. Okay. We will all get through this pandemic, okay? Things are opening up, so let's just err on caution. Happy Memorial Day to everybody here in the United States. We are going on a 3-day weekend, baby. So we love you, and we'll see you next Friday.